Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Oh, boy.
Hello, hello.
We got Sassy Cat, Heather Geyer, Susie D, Be Charming, Autumn Leaf. Yeah, usually I have been going a little bit later. Usually, like I said at the beginning, 8 o'clock, but I found out there's other people going live, and I didn't want to step on nobody's toes on Tuesday. So,
It's hard to fit in a live.
oh, I know. Yeah, because I've been moving around like crazy with the different times and everything, and find out they're alive that day, so I'll move it down an hour or move it up an hour. Oops, and I
Yep.
forgot my phone's on.
Yeah, we quit going live because of baseball. We were going live on Mondays at 5 Central. And so we quit during baseball season and summer and garden season and all that. So we
Oh
stopped for a
yeah,
little while, but we're going to pick it back up and get it going pretty soon here in the next probably couple of months. We're
oh that's
actually
good.
we're at 3950 right now, and so as
Yeah,
soon as we hit that 5,000, we're going to do a big giveaway. We've been saving up stuff and been getting little stuff to give away, big stuff to give away, and so we're saving it up because that may be, if it comes fast enough, that may be the live that we go back live doing them on Mondays for.
yeah, I seen that you're really close to the 4K mark.
Yep, we've been doing YouTube for 3 years now, so we are slowly climbing. But we've
Yeah.
got wonderful people that watch our information and videos, and lots of friends. And I mean, our followers are really faithful. I will put them up against anybody else. They definitely watch my stuff. So I'm excited to be able to share information and all the good fun stuff with everybody, and actually have people to watch, because it's pointless to have a YouTube channel really if you're there to put information out and nobody watches it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the drawback, but if that's something you enjoy, then keep on keeping, and we love our Heather and our Mike too. Hey guys.
Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your channel and what your channel's about and whatnot, and
Okay. Yeah, my name is Casey. Most everybody in here I pretty well know. So I'm glad to see a lot of friends coming in here watching. Stephen is not with me tonight. He's actually trying to hurry up and get the grass cut, because we're going to the Ozarks Homesteading Expo in 2 more days. We're leaving Thursday and we're going to that. So we've got to hurry up and get the grass cut. So Stephen's out there doing that. And so we have Boots and Bounty Homestead. And we started out doing gardening, and then we kind of transitioned into doing a little more of the kitchen stuff, because what's the point in having a garden if you don't know how to use it?
yeah,
um,
exactly.
so that was one of the points. I wanted to teach people how to grow, as a lot of people do on YouTube, but then you've got to cross over into teaching people how to use it, because a lot of people don't know how to cook. And like we were talking about, they may grow a whole ton of tomatoes and then like, well, I don't know how to make anything with it. I don't know how to can
Yeah.
anything. And so that was one thing that my mom actually brought up. And I say this every time, that's kind of how my YouTube channel got started. Was because we had a friend that was getting married, and mama told me, she said, she don't even know how to scramble eggs. And so that got me to thinking, well, there's a lot of people on YouTube that are wanting to grow. When we started, back in 2020, everybody wanted to grow. But then I started realizing people that are growing all these gardens for the first time don't know what to do with all this stuff they're fixing to get in. And so that's why I wanted to switch over to not just canning and preserving, but also how to use it fresh, how to cook from scratch, how to
Yeah.
take what you're growing and put it into a skillet or a pot and turn it into something that you and your family would enjoy eating. One of the things that we are kind of known for is our line dancing, of course.
Yep.
And so I do have line dance tutorials on there, and I really did that for the local people, um, because we have a lot of dance places around here, and a lot of people wanted to learn. had a line dance around here and learned some of the new dances that we've been doing. So I will occasionally throw up a new line dance, but most of them are already on the channel. So you don't see that as much except for when we go live on either Friday or Saturday nights, and we go live whenever we have a live band locally and we go dancing. Casey, can you share your email with me? It's our name at Gmail. So it's Boots and Bounty Homestead at Gmail. Yes. Yes, I do. There is a list of lives. I will try to find that for you. I know where it's at. I will have to go find it. But yeah, send me an email and I will try to go ahead and send that back to you. But on top of doing the gardening and the canning and the cooking and the dancing, I do a little sewing. And I every now and then I'll throw something new in the mix. Like I may do some crochet, I may do some kind of make your own clothes from scratch. Or if you go to Goodwill and you buy two pieces that you like, you want to put them together and make something new. I do stuff like
Mhm.
that. So kind of like a recycled clothing kind of thing, because I do have a sewing business on the side, of everything else I do.
On the side, on the side.
It's like on my third side. But yeah, I mean, I try to help anybody do anything, and try to, just teach what I do, because like everybody says, it's a lost art, and you've got to learn a little bit at a time. Where I grew up in everything I do. I've done everything since I could walk that I share with you guys, and it just comes natural. So I try to break it down and make it really easy for people to understand.
Yep, that's what I've been getting at here for a good while is, um, we got the new generation coming up,
Right.
and the I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them in certain states and whatnot are clueless.
Yeah. Oh
The,
yeah.
and it's not so much their fault. It's just the way everything is on a cell phone. They don't have to
Yeah.
know anything. They just ask Google.
Yeah. I mean, people
Um,
don't even know their phone numbers anymore, I mean,
you
they don't.
they don't know how to give change.
Right.
Most of them don't even use money anymore. It's on a card
Right.
or um, Cash App or whatever those things are,
Yep.
and it's
Okay, Dave.
nobody knows how to do anything anymore. And that's where these
Right.
your channel and other channels that I've been doing show how to do this stuff, and it's
Mm-hmm.
real important.
Yeah, it is. I think back in, it was probably around, I'm going to say roughly the 40s to the 70s, like around the 50s when TV meals started coming out, when the women started going back into the workforce, and moving away from the home. That's when everything kind of switched. And
Mm-hmm.
um,
Well,
oh, wow, Kim,
used to
wow,
be
that's nice.
the man could sit there and have plenty of work or
Hmm.
make enough money. The wife didn't have to go out and work.
Yeah. Well, and two, it's when divorces come about, where the moms had to support the family, and that's where it kind of started changing, where people were moving away from, once you're married, that's it. You make it
Mm-hmm.
work, the best
Yeah.
of your ability. Then it got normal for it to be okay for you to get out of that situation. I mean, there are some circumstances, yes, but for you to say, I don't want to be married to you anymore, that that's not a quality that people hold true anymore. And so that's where the family started splitting up, and that's where the parents both had to start working, and you had to rely on convenience. And so then when the mama wasn't there to show the kids how to cook, like all three of my kids know how to cook. I can, like, if I fix something Logan doesn't like, he's 10 years old, he can go fix his own food. So that's the way I've trained them. Emma can
Yeah.
cook. My oldest son, y'all don't see much, but Preston, he can cook. He actually works in a restaurant. And so that's one thing that I pride myself on, is actually being the parent that raises your children to be able to take care of themselves, because that's our whole goal, is to raise them, teach them in the way they should go, and whenever they get onto society, they'll be able to sustain themselves, and that's my goal. um
Yeah.
okay, that's my rant. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of things got lost is when it started switching over to more of the convenience and,
Yeah,
fast food came about, TV trays came about, and people got out of the kitchen. They got in the microwave and not the stove.
yeah. When before me and my wife could get married, we actually had to do classes at church, and
Yeah, we did too.
which I enjoyed it. I thought it was very cool. Um, but like I said, it's completely changed now.
Yeah.
It's
My kids still do their laundry. I cook and I do the garden. I do all of the canning and everything. If I need help, my kids help, but they do the dishes. And Steven actually does the laundry. And then we all keep the house clean. So that's the way we flow.
Yep.
Emma needs to cut them taters smaller. Yes, girl. Yes. I had told Emma over and over and over, girl, cut them things smaller. She has these big old chunks of taters, and I'm like, it's gonna take them taters 20 minutes to cook.
Well,
Oh,
you of course been canning everything tomato, and
yeah,
you've been doing this. I don't. It's kind of like a series, the copycat series, I guess
yep,
you would call it, to
yep.
where you're doing uh, barbecue sauce
I did Sweet Baby
and
Ray's, and then yesterday came out the Manwich Sloppy Joe sauce.
yeah,
Yep, those have been a really big hit, so I'm
and
excited to see how those go.
I've done the sloppy Joe thing, but I one thing I seen is you did different. You put it in the processor and kind of made it into a paste, like the peppers and the
Yeah,
onions.
yeah. My
I
family don't
always I
like chunky
always
stuff.
made my chunky, but I was
Yeah,
like, oh, that's interesting
yeah.
because I guess it is like the canned manwich.
Right, right. And it's preference too. Like my family won't eat onions and peppers and stuff if they see it. So I have to
Oh,
cook it down and have to blend it up where they
okay.
don't see it. Like we did hiding the organ meat. I did that video a couple months ago where I hid the organ meat and Logan still doesn't know that he eats liver, you know, because I put it in the food processor and then whenever I cook my ground beef, I pour the liver into it and I cook it all up and you don't see it. And it tastes like, smoky restaurant steaks is what it tastes like. And so yeah, he still doesn't know he's been eating liver and I won't tell him because he won't eat no more.
So how many pounds do you think you've canned in the last week?
I have no clue. I've never weighed anything. I go out there and I pick it and it sits in the buckets over here until I get ready to get it done. And I have no clue. I don't even know how much stuff weighs. Got
Well,
100 pounds of it.
I've
Process of freezing like
actually had to weigh mine because I'm in a
yeah,
gardening thing.
the shed
So,
wars thing.
huh?
The shed wars.
Well, they call it global gardening something or other. I
Oh,
still,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, they went away from the shed wars part
Yeah. Okay.
and named it something different now, but
Oh, good.
it's pretty much the same thing. But I've had to actually, get used to. I had to put an empty bucket up on the
Yeah.
scale and found out that my bucket or my 5 gallons of tomatoes are too heavy for the scale. So I have to do it in anything to make it more time consuming.
That's
So
I
it only goes so high. I was
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, I've got a 44-pound scale up there in the corner. I keep on my top shelf up there. I've used it maybe 3 times in the 2 years I've had it, and it was only because of my tomato products. And
mm,
this year, like you've seen, I did just the big roaster pan. I just threw it all in there. I didn't weigh anything. And
yeah,
so
that's what I want.
instead of doing the recipes by weight, I'm actually doing it by cups because with mine, I have found that like if it calls for 6 pounds of tomatoes, that's usually between 6 and 8 cups of sauce. And I can do like 8 and then I can cook it down to about 6 and it evens out about right. So
Mm,
it's almost a 1 pound to 1 cup ratio kind of thing. But when I know I have to cook it down more, I usually add about a quarter more. So that'll be about 8 cups with a 6-pound recipe. So,
I do the same thing you do with the immersion blender.
oh yes.
Oh, that thing is so
Yes.
wonderful because I've done the blanching and peeling,
Yeah.
and I said no, I'm not doing that. I was just went,
Yeah. Coring and all. I just
knock the
go
skins
at it.
off.
Yeah. Yeah, you just take the skin, the stems off. A lot of people don't even core it anymore. A lot of people just throw it in there, and I have done that, especially when I
Yeah,
pressure can it, because I just put a whole bunch of tomatoes in there in the pressure canner, the big 16-quart pressure canner. I put them all in there, and I process them for like 5 minutes, just 10 pounds of weight for 5 minutes. Let it cool off, and it separates because it pushes all of the tomatoes inward and it squeezes all the water out. So the water sits on top. So then all you have to do is just pour it out. I
yeah.
don't core them, skin them, or nothing. I just put the immersion blender in there and go after it.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes it easy. Guess they need to go back to the way of learning rather than getting handed everything. Yes, exactly. That's where they get spoiled. Spreading the lid.
yeah.
It was about 4 or 5 lives, and I actually got.
Is that the only thing that you're going to be canning this year?
Do what now?
Or is that the only thing you're going to be canning this year?
Oh, I can everything every year. I actually have 7 quarts of green beans sitting over there. I did this morning.
Okay.
So I do green beans, and I'm not doing just a whole lot of canning this year. You guys will actually see why on Thursday. So
Okay.
I have a video coming out Thursday with something I've been waiting. A few of you in chat know about it, but don't say anything. Don't say anything. But I haven't been canning a whole lot this year because of the other project I've got going on. So I've basically been freezing all of my tomatoes except for the sauces that I just put out because I did want to have those on the shelf. That was something new. There was one more that I wanted to do. I keep a list throughout the year as I watch people. And I write down, oh yeah, I buy that. I need to add that to my list, and I try to keep a list of stuff that I want to make. And then just a rolling list of what I know I have in the pantry that I want to keep making. And so tomato products, I knew, I didn't have to do ketchup this year. I didn't have to do tomato juice. I didn't have to do stuff like that. So I saved
Yeah.
my tomatoes for the barbecue sauce, for the sloppy Joe sauce, for making some more spaghetti sauce, some of the more stuff that we use all the time. That was what I'm saving my tomatoes for this year.
Yeah.
A lot of the other things that I grew, like the squash and zucchini and stuff like that, is part of my new project that I've got. And I don't like canning them. I will shred
Oh
them in
no.
freezers and stuff like that, but I
They
don't can squash.
get real mushy.
Yeah. And that's how I do pumpkin. I chop it up, throw in a pressure canner, skin, thrown out a cup of water. Yeah, and see, I do turnips like that too. I'll put turnips in the Instapot and add just a little bit of sugar to it and do it for
Oh,
like 5 minutes. And those are really good.
yeah.
Um,
We were just talking about Instapots last night because, a lot of people that don't use them right. I'll put it that way.
yeah,
They don't close the
definitely.
lids all the way, or they can't wait and they have to open it too
Yeah,
soon, and they regret it right afterwards.
yeah. Hey, Chuck. Farmers told me that. Yep, exactly. Said I have 3 pints of watermelon, rind pickles, 11 pints of zucchini.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I like the
that's another
pineapple
thing I
zucchini.
did.
I used my tromboncino squash last year, which I've got like 20 of them things laying around there, haven't done anything with. But I used my tromboncino squash last year to do the mock pineapple because it's more
Oh,
dense, and I didn't want to can zucchini, and so I canned the tromboncino squash, and they held up so good.
oh, really?
I loved it so much better. That's the only squash I will can, but it'll have to be water bath, not pressure canned.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven said hey. He must be down there listening. Yeah, I do a lot of Instapot stuff, and I was just in a collaboration doing the air fryer
Yeah,
with
I seen that
Angela.
the bacon wrapped cheese dogs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are our favorites.
yeah. Well, anything with bacon, just it's hard to mess up anything if you put bacon with it.
Yeah. I need to do
Although
more
I did see
conversation.
something that kind of grossed me out today when they put bacon on, but
Oh my.
yeah, like
Listening
uh,
while cruising around the mower. Yep, Steven's down there mowing. He's listening. Steven ain't mowing no more. Right. You can't text and drive, honey. He's not going to hit anything down there, though, but a hole. Maybe the pond.
you don't want to drive into the pond.
No, no. It wouldn't take much to get out right now because I'm sure it's pretty low.
Yeah. Well, they got the storm coming up. I seen a few people down at the coast were saying how windy and how much rain they
Uh-huh.
were getting.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen anything yet.
So maybe some of that cool air comes up.
Yeah.
Doubt it, but
Oh, he's using voice text. Okay. He's got his earbuds in. He's voice texting.
that thing
99
never
feels like
works good.
105.
Never works good for me.
It is 91 here, believe it or not, but it feels like 108.
Yeah,
Spaceman Dudley. Hey, Raquel. Hey, guys.
and I grew up a lot in Phoenix, so I know that
Oh,
the heat, but there's a
it's
difference
dry.
between the heat and when you come out go east and that humidity comes out. It's like, oh,
Yes. And that's the difference in the cold, too, because I
yeah,
talked to some of the people further up north, and, they're like, oh, we're negative something or other, like Raquel, she'll get in the negatives. And I'm like, we're barely in the 20s and can't breathe. But it's because of the humidity is actually frozen in the air, whereas
hmm,
further up north, you don't have that humidity. Cold is just cold, but down here, the air freezes.
yeah,
Like the humidity in the air freezes.
yeah. You get up in the morning, you can't see anything because
Hmm.
it's the air is frozen and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Charbroil, Central Kentucky. Yeah, well, we're right down south of y'all in Kentucky. We're in West Tennessee. It's hot in Kentucky. Been fencing today. Oh no. Mm-mm. I wouldn't be fencing today.
um. Besides, how long you been doing the line dancing and stuff?
I started when I was 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it most of my life. Um, and Logan started when he was 6. He's 10 now. Emma started about the same time, so she started when she was 12, and then Steven started. Because Steven's like, okay, because he's not a person that learns out in public. He doesn't want to. He wants it to just be me and him, one on one. And he wouldn't even learn in front of the kids. He had to wait until the kids were gone or make them stay inside whenever we went out to the garage at the old house. And so that was the first thing. And Heather said one day I'm going to go line dancing. We're all, yes, you are. But yeah, it takes me a minute to teach him, and he doesn't learn on the fly. So he actually, with him and the kids learning, it wasn't really simultaneous. Because the kids actually, just really just caught on fast. And with him, like I said, I had to do one-on-one. So we started all that about 4 years ago. And I mean, we just kept going, and then it turned into, people wanted us to teach. And of course, I've taught line dancing since I was 17. I actually started
Oh
when I was
wow.
17 teaching. And then that's whenever we started going out in public here line dancing, because I didn't dance for probably 11 years because Stephen didn't dance. So we didn't go. And, he's a military guy, so he's got to be there to protect me. He's got to be there
Mhm.
and watch everybody. And what all they go through. So that was why we never actually went line dancing together, because I would dance and he would sit there and watch. And I didn't want to dance with him just sitting there, so we
Yeah.
just didn't go. And so, anyways, he was like, okay, well, it's something you love, you want to go do. I'm going to learn, but you're going to have to teach me one on one. So that's what we did. And then when we started going out in public around here and started dancing, then they were like, I need you to teach me that dance. And I told Steven, I was like, you know what? We're going to have to put them on YouTube so people can learn them. So we've got a little line dance playlist that we tell people to go watch whenever they want to learn the line dance and stuff. Yes, line dancing is big in Texas. Yeah,
I did a little bit in the 90s. And I mean, not a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I ran into more people than anything. Left and I went right. And,
yeah. Yeah. I tell people all the time whenever I'm teaching them, I'm like, I don't care what your feet do. As long as you turn the same way, nobody will ever see that you messed up around your feet. They will see you if you turn the wrong way. Like, pow, right there in your face. Like, yeah, you messed up. But if you mess your feet up, nobody will see as long as you turn the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike agrees. Yep, he does it too. I couldn't tell that by watching you guys. Yeah. Steven's very shy. Yeah. My cousin and his wife teach line dancing. Okay. Nice. It's not many people that can teach line dancing. You have people that teach, and then you have people that really teach, Some people just do it because they know how to do it, and they don't think about the people that have two left feet and you're trying to teach them. Some people don't have the patience for that. And I know some people that teach and some people that teach, there is a difference. You gotta love to learn to teach.
Yeah. It's easy to just say, do this, do this, do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then end it from there. And you're like, what?
Yeah, if you kick the person in front of you, you aren't doing it right. That's right. That's right. Now, Joe, I can do that one too. Logan knows how to do that one. He tries to get me to do it, and I'm like, honey, I got too much to jiggle to be jumping around and doing all that Cotton Eye Joe jumping.
I think the only one I can remember is one boot scooting boogie.
And that's a hard one.
Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah, that's a hard one, but I learned that back in the 90s too on a VHS cassette tape.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah, my mama probably still has it somewhere. It was a 90s line dance thing, and it was a VHS, and that's what I did in the afternoons. There was 5 dances on there, and I learned them all. It was Achy Breaky Heart, and it was Boot Scoot Boogie and Cowboy Reggae, and like all the old ones, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's what I get a kick out of watching when you have your lives and you guys set the camera up there and watching everybody doing the dances and stuff.
Yep. Oh, David used to teach square dancing when he was in his teens. Wow.
Oh, square dancing? Oh, man.
Wow. I don't know that I've ever square danced.
That's an upgrade of line dancing. Big time. I've watched it.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
I've seen it.
But yeah, I've never done the square dancing.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't turn out too good though.
I've always wanted a river dance.
Oh, river dance?
I love the clogging.
Yeah.
I love clogging. I don't know that I could get my feet to move like that though.
Well, I was told that I used to when I was real young.
Really?
Stopped doing it. Yeah. Not river dance, but clogging.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My dog's barking at something and she never barks. She sleeps all the time. We used to square dance.
Let me in the AC. Let me in the AC.
Yeah, she don't bark much. I don't see anything out there. She'll be all right. I used to watch Porter Wagner and Hee Haw. Oh, okay. I might, Tamara, that brings up a good point. If I can get to it in October, I'll see if I can video it for you, because in October, the community where I grew up with, my mom and my dad, they've done a hee haw show for like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years now. I guess 40 years at least. They've done a hee haw show, and it's out at one of the little old community schools. and they just started practicing last week. And they actually asked me and Steven to be in it because we were in it 2 years ago. And the lady that was doing it back then actually asked me if I would take over to produce it for her because she was getting older. And I told her I would. And then we moved. And now I'm like over an hour away. And I'm like, I can't make the trip, all the time to go down there and practice every week, for 2 or 3 times. So somebody else actually took it over. But they actually started practicing last week, and it'll be in October. And hopefully I can set up my camera. And if they don't mind me doing it, I'll put that up in October, and I'll show you the hee haw show that we used to do. I may even actually end up being in it. Who knows?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I really disliked hee haw. Hee haw. My dad would watch it anytime it was on. He'd watch it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just good family fun. You don't have that.
Oh yeah, but when you're a little one, anything that had singing and stuff, because he liked all the movies that the people sung in and stuff like that, and I'm like,
yeah,
who goes around singing all the time?
His dad played the Hee Haw TV show. Wow. Okay.
And it used to be that I don't know what. Can't remember her name, but she always had them big old hats on and real.
Yeah, Minnie Pearl.
Yeah.
Minnie Pearl. She's actually in the show too. We have a Minnie Pearl in our show too. She's great.
Really?
She's great. Her name is Miss Brenda. She goes to church with my mom, and she nailed it. She does really good with that. Okay. I used to be the youngest old timer in the. Oh, wow. 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 Yes.
There was another show too. I can't remember what it was that he used to watch all the time. I disliked that one too. Because when I was a kid, anything that had singing in it, I didn't like.
Yeah. Oh, we watched them all.
Yeah, because my dad went to nightclubs and sung all the time. I was always sitting at the bar waiting for him to get done, and that's all I heard was music. When I was like, no, not a TV show that does with all music.
Oh, a 13-year-old girl. Wow. Okay, string bean, yes. With the overalls, my dad used to joke about my oldest son, Preston, and one year he actually dressed up as string bean for Halloween because he's like 6 foot tall and weighs $120. And so he would, and my daddy always says, if you turn sideways and stick your tongue out, you look like a zipper because he's so skinny. Did not get it from me. No. Oh, Lord. I met Minnie Pearl in Grapevine. Wow.
So what are some of the stuff you're going to be growing for your fall garden?
I have a couple of varieties of broccoli started and a couple of varieties of cabbages started and kohlrabi and I don't know. I got a whole pack of seeds like this big. I know I'm going to do some turnips and some lettuces and some kales. And I thought about doing some English peas, some sweet peas. I thought about doing some of those. I don't know. It's time for me to be doing it like right now. And right now is the time we're going to be going to Missouri, and then we're going to Kentucky. And so I don't know how well my fall garden's going to do because it's so pretty. Go away. Emma's back. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of different things. I just need to go out there and just sprinkle around the garden. Radishes and I don't even know what else. All the good stuff.
I definitely want to do radishes again. I like the watermelon radishes. That's usually
I have seeds. I've never had them though.
Go with because they're good. They're good. You can chop them up finely and put them in salad and like a little slaw. Or
Yeah.
you can even bake them and they're really good.
I like to use radishes as potatoes. That's
Yeah,
our favorite. It's just in a skillet with some butter, salt and pepper, seasonings and stuff.
yeah,
We don't like radishes roasted and we don't like them raw because we just don't like spicy, tangy stuff, you know.
yeah. That I think that's why I like the watermelon ones.
Yeah, I've never had those, so it may be different.
Yeah,
I've got lots of watermelon seeds for next year. Yeah. And he's talking about the watermelon radishes.
yeah,
Uh,
watermelon radish.
yeah. Pumpkins and gourds. I had some seeds um, from Kentucky that Mackenzie Lindstrom brought, and they were long-standing pumpkin pie seeds, and they didn't come up for some reason. They may have just been too old. I don't know, but those were the only pumpkins that I planted, but they didn't come up. I'm not a pumpkin grower. I just do it for decorations.
Yeah, if I had the space, I would definitely grow pumpkins. Just
Yeah.
because you can turn a certain kind, you can turn it into flour,
Hmm.
dehydrate them. It takes a
Yep.
lot of work though, but with the way things are going with the flour around here.
Right. And I had tried the squash flour, but I think I had too much on my trays in the oven to dehydrate and they just stayed mushy. So I've got to try
Oh,
that again.
yeah.
Okay, David, I'll try that. I will put that on my list for my new project. Daikon radishes. Yeah, Heather, a couple of years ago, I had one that was like this long. You can't even see it. It was like that long and it was like that big around. And I've got a picture of me
Dang.
holding it that I put on Facebook or something. And it was like, it was huge. My daddy grew that one, the big white daikon radish.
Did you have to get a shovel to dig it out of the ground?
He just brought it to me. I don't know what he did.
Oh,
It was crazy. It was, I've never seen one that big, but yeah, a lot of them, they'll plant them out in the fields, like the cotton fields and soybean fields and stuff. They'll do a cover crop of them if it's a newer field to help break up the dirt
yeah,
and stuff. So a lot of times we'll see them out in the fields and stuff, and we can go get them because they won't eat them. They just turn them over into compost, till them in.
yeah. That and turnips.
Mini pumpkins. See, I wanted to do stuff like that and be able to decorate and stuff, but
Oh, the
my
mini
garden is
pumpkin.
all about food, and we don't eat pumpkin. I don't even eat pumpkin around Thanksgiving or Christmas or nothing like that, and
Yeah,
I don't grow it.
for Thanksgiving, would rather have a sweet potato pie than a
Right,
pumpkin pie.
right.
Well, everybody says there's no difference, and yeah, there is.
A little bit, yeah. I say there's really no difference, but I know there is a difference. Like
Yeah.
I think it's Emma. She eats sweet potato pie and she won't eat pumpkin pie. I could care less about either one of them. I'd eat both of them. I don't care. My clay soil doesn't allow radishes to grow. Since we're looking to move, I'm not amending the soil. We got good soil, girl. Come on down. Daikon
And
radishes. Excellent.
what do you got? Any animals? I know you already said you have livestock
Yeah.
guardian dogs.
Yeah, we have three of those. We have a mama and two babies, two puppies. Well, they're 7 months old and almost as big as she is. But we have Bobo, which is the mama, and Pepper and Bella. And we looked up and got them as like a combo package kind of thing. So I was looking for one adult, one puppy, and ended up I got two puppies. And then I was like, well, do you have an adult? She said, well, I'll let the mama go too. So I got the mama and both the babies.
Oh, okay.
We have 23 chickens. I'm counting, but we lost a white one to the heat we got last month. She just got sick for some reason. And just like died within a matter of 2 or 3 hours. Just like boom, she was done. And then one of my friends, a few of you have seen Jessica on here. She got our big red rooster because she needed one to protect her girls that she got. Because she was having a lot of squirrels and birds and foxes and all that. And so I sent him over to her house. So we're down a rooster. So we have one rooster and then 22 girls, I think. But that's all we have right now. We just wanted to get started with them. And next year, we will see about moving into something else. We would like to do a couple of feeder pigs just, over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually getting to do like a mini dairy. I don't want a big Jersey, but maybe like a
Yeah.
mini Jersey or something like that. I'd like to get into doing something small. But I don't want to have a big one. And I say small because if it come to the point where she needed to go to the river with us, I could put her in a trailer and take her with us, and it wouldn't be this massive cow at our cabin. I want her to be, kind of smaller. But that's what I have in mind. I want to get like what are they, like a little 6 foot, like a 2-horse trailer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Just like a 2-horse trailer. I'd like to get one of those and be able to build cabinets on one side and house all of my milk supplies. So when, like, if we do go somewhere, like I can take her with me and
Oh
be
yeah.
able to milk her on the go and be able to process everything, which is, we just only go for a couple of days, so it's not going to be a big deal. But I don't want, like, chickens are one thing and dogs are one thing, but a cow you have to milk, unless you have a
Yeah.
calf or something. Um, so that's one thing we're kind of looking into, is to getting that, in the future, just not right now. We're
Yep. I've
easing
seen
into
some
everything.
really horrible things from cows that were not milked regularly.
Right.
They actually have to cut and
Yeah.
drain. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's horrible.
Yeah. I see Willow Way. Hey, Wendy at Willow Way. And there's CB. There's the Petersons. Hey, Phil and Tammy. Somebody said, where did I see it at?
Strawberry rhubarb jam.
Yeah, I actually have put rhubarb in the garden, and some of you have seen my garden tour and what we did this year, but we have like a berry patch, and so it's getting established since this is the first year, it's being here, planting the garden and everything. So none of my fruit produced this year. Like I had the canes to produce blackberries for next year, stuff like that. So we'll get production next year. But in the meantime, while those items like my blueberries, my blackberries, raspberries, while those are getting established, and my grapes, I planted stuff underneath them. So like my cantaloupe are underneath my grapes right now. So, there's nothing being used in that dirt. So I might as well just,
Yeah.
plant something there. And so underneath my blackberries, I planted rhubarb because they'll grow in between the canes, and then those will stay low to the ground, and the blackberries kind of grow upward. So I'm utilizing 2 levels of low growing and then the bushes going up. So I'm utilizing that more. And strawberry rhubarb, I've got rhubarb actually and strawberries. I've got them both frozen, and that's one thing I want to make is strawberry rhubarb jam. Hadn't got to
Yeah.
it yet.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I had a strawberry rhubarb pie. I
Yeah.
tried it, and then where we were living, there was rhubarb growing out in the back. I thought, whoa, I'm gonna go get me some of that, and I got sick as a dog. No.
Well, Wendy in here from Willow Way Ranch, I was on a live one night and we were talking about strawberry rhubarb. And I said I had never tried it before. So last year at Kentucky, she brought me my own pie. She showed up with this big, massive pie, and I ate half of it. And I really shouldn't have, but I did, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I do now. I know why they say they put a ton of sugar in there when
Yeah.
they make anything with rhbarb because it's
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
I never
Dana.
touched it after that.
Yep. Hey, Lynette. Long time no see, friend. I have watermelon jelly. Okay, so I've done 2 jellies this year, and I did one of them was watermelon, and then the other one was corncob jelly. and I made a
Oh,
bunch of jelly. It was probably 20 half pints or so. I made a bunch, but my pectin went bad, and none of it gelled.
oh,
And so I had to go buy all new pectin. And the pectin, I've had it for a couple of years, but it didn't like it expired this year.
yeah.
And so I was like, well, surely it's not the pectin. But
Usually,
yeah,
you get a few years after it.
yeah, well, no. I would thought so, but I did not. Stephen went and bought me about 8 more boxes, and I processed another batch of new corncob jelly, and it took 3 days, but it finally gelled. I've never had jelly to
Oh,
sit for
wow.
3 days, but I don't know. I don't something about Sure Gel or something, but last year I couldn't get my watermelon jelly to gel either. I don't know. And it was the same pectin that I used this year. And I may have just gotten a bad batch or something. I don't know, but
Hmm.
um, I got a lot of syrup because none of it gelled. But
Yet last year I made I didn't do jelly last year. I just did monkey butter
mhm.
and cowboy candy relish,
Yep.
which I need I need to find a good place to get some good jalapenos because well I've been growing some, but I only had the 4 plants,
Yeah.
and they've been mainly going into my salsa and stuff like
Right.
that. But yeah, I definitely need to probably make a double batch because I ran out this year.
Yeah. I made one of my friends, I made her 20 quarts of sweet pickles, and I had some of the sweet pickle brine left over. And so instead of making like a whole new recipe for cowboy candy, I just used my sweet pickle brine and just put my jalapenos in it and canned them like that. So I just made sweet
Yeah,
pickled, jalapenos. Same difference, I guess. I don't eat the stuff, but I had to do something with it. And then I've
yeah,
got a lot of mine cut up and frozen right now. Um, I'm waiting to get enough tomatoes to make rotel. So that's my next thing is to make rotel with
oh, I
everything
didn't
that's
even
in
think
together.
about doing that.
Yeah, I do. I make rotel, and because a
Yeah,
lot of people make salsa, but rotel is one of the things I don't use salsa. I use rotel more than anything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Casey, you remember I'm your friend. I like sweet. I made so many pickles last year. I won't need to make no more pickles for 20 years.
That's the way I did this year. I made bread and butter pickles, and then I made relish, and I made bread and butter relish.
Yep.
Oh, I'm that cucumbers and tomatoes is the majority of my weight this year.
Yeah.
I
Hey
did
Annette, good
grow
morning.
a little bit of okra and
Our okra's just now coming in. Like
peppers.
I think we picked 5 last week. It has been so slow with the okra this year because it just didn't get hot
Yeah,
enough.
same here.
Yeah.
Usually that heat they usually thrive in the heat, but
Yeah.
I don't know
It didn't get hot
this
enough.
heat.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It finally started getting warm enough last week a little bit, and of course this week we should get a lot. Hey Matt, looking forward to getting a good bean collection for hot dilly beans. Dilly beans, you either love them or hate them. We're not a dill pickle kind of person, and we don't like them. We don't even eat a whole lot of dill pickles. Dill nothing.
yeah.
We're
I
not
did.
vinegar
I did the
people.
bread and butter. I
Yeah.
like the bread and butter a lot better. And then a few of them. I think 2 batches. I accidentally on purpose put a little too much red pepper flakes in there, so
Oh yeah.
they're a little sweet and spicy.
Oh my. Yeah, we don't eat a whole lot of stuff with vinegar in it. We're more sweet than sour.
Yeah. Well, we're at the point here. Want to let everybody know if you got any sneak peeks of stuff coming up or what you got planned for the upcoming months and stuff.
Oh my.
Besides hitting the 5,000 mark.
I hope so. I hope that's going to be in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, we're almost at 4,000. So we'll be doing our big giveaway at 5,000. So make sure you go and subscribe and share me out and get everybody watching and get our numbers on up. We will be giving away a whole bunch of stuff come 5,000 subs. Well, we are hopefully going to get started back on our shed and to getting our barn finished. You see some stuff sitting back here. We when we moved, we had 5 storage units. We were down to 2 as of this weekend, and now we're down to 1. So we've got a trailer load of stuff out there. We're going through to minimize everything. So some stuff is sitting back here. I've got to go through, and it just takes time to do. But we haven't been able to move everything yet because we didn't have anywhere to put it. So we've got to finish our barn because when we moved here, there was no outbuildings. So we've had to build everything. And so us taking the summer off to work on our river cabin, we've had to put our barn on hold. So hopefully we're going to get started on that pretty soon. So we'll be adding on to the barn and getting stuff finished up moving. What else do we have? I got the new project we're announcing Thursday. And so that's going to be exciting to share with everybody and come up with all kinds of new ideas to do that. Oh my, I don't know. I never really have anything planned. It's just kind of when I do it, I want to share it. And so that's what comes up. But I'm always cooking. I'm always, trying to come up with something new and different. And so Heather knows what it is, and she's like, "Oh, I can't wait."
It's super secret.
Yep. So I'm excited. There's Homestead Aquarius. Hey, long time no see.
Hey, Robert.
I always wonder why they call them bread and butter pickles. Me too. Why do they call them bread and butter pickles, Charles?
I don't know. Maybe they're good on bread and butter sandwiches.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think it's one of those things back in the day, when people were poor kind of thing. Like Little House on the Prairie kind of thing, like bread and butter kind of thing. I don't know. That's what I think of when I hear them. Is that's the thought that comes to mind.
And back then it was probably just get the pickles and put it on the bread and butter.
Yeah. Yep. We're waiting for that big surprise, Casey. It's coming Thursday. Tastes great on butter sandwiches. Okay.
Oh.
Tammy said
that is.
We've always had bread and butter pickles on the table. I don't like bread and butter. My dad does.
Well, bread and butter. I mean, if it's butter.
Jennifer said poor people sold cucumbers to be able to buy bread and butter.
Oh.
That's kind of like the mortgage lifters. The tomatoes, the mortgage lifters. He sold the plants to be able to pay off his mortgage.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, you learn something every day.
You need gravy bread.
I always thought it tastes good with bread and butter.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Spicy bread and butter pickles are great. Oh yeah. One thing I've been wanting to do is the bacon relish. I've been wanting to do that, but bacon's too dang expensive to make a big batch of it.
Yeah. Well, I make the tomato bacon jam, and that's been a favorite. I don't actually know if I'm going to have it in Kentucky this year, but I usually have a bunch of people that request me to bring it for Kentucky. And they want to have it out on the table during the picnic. And then I usually get requests for people like pre-ordering it to make sure I have enough.
Yeah.
Homemade bread with gravy on it. My grandparents used to make it. Oh, okay. I got you. I've ate that before. Yeah. I just didn't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I do the tomato bacon jam. And if I have bacon, I will use bacon. But if not, I'll use like the real bacon bits and make it with that. They're not as expensive and they're already pre-cut up and pre-cooked.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's expensive. So
Yeah. I like
yeah,
the idea of cayenne sweet pickles. And then we make those. I've never heard of those. Cayenne sweet pickles.
cayenne sweet pickles.
Yeah.
No, I ain't heard that one either.
Never heard of that one. See, there's all kinds of new ideas. I'm just going to have to start trying, and y'all just going to have to come watch me do it, you know?
Yeah, I've got. Well, I don't have it with me now. Um, it's an Amish um, sweet, sweet and pickled stuff, and it's jellies and different types of pickles that comes from Amish recipes and stuff.
Okay.
And that's where I did my bread and butter pickles.
Yeah.
I used their recipe this year, and it was. I've already got into them, and they're really good. And the relish, I don't like because usually you use a grater and grade the cucumber into.
Right.
But I like the thicker relish. That way you can use it in salads and stuff like that.
Yeah. And my mom
So
and dad, they
I chop it up in little cubes.
they made a whole bunch of sweet pickles not too long ago. I guess it was last year. And all I ended up doing was like just taking it and throwing in a whole bunch of bell peppers and making sweet pickle relish out of it. Hang on.
Okay.
Come on. It come in for the last few minutes. This is
Did you
Steven.
get all mowed up
Oh yeah, I had to finish the back half of the property.
until the next rain?
Well, they're not calling any for us for like the next week.
Another week and a half.
Yeah, same here. No rain.
Blazing hot.
So that means
Mike. Hey, Heather.
I'm watering.
I had to water this morning. The garden is
Yeah.
looking pretty brown.
Yeah.
The garden is struggling.
Yeah, I got to get another batch of tomatoes out of the garden yet, so probably another 5-gallon bucket full.
Yeah, I pick a little bit every day, or 2 or 3 times a day. I usually don't wait unless it's like, the green beans or peas or something like that. I do every 2 or 3 days, but usually I'm out there picking and trying not to eat, tomatoes and peppers and squash, and because I love those sun sugar tomatoes. Those are so good.
Oh, that's what cherry tomatoes are for. You need nourishment while you're out there working in the garden.
Yes, eat snacks.
I've got auger for that, David. So I'm not gonna be hand digging any kind of footers or anything. I bought a gas auger for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I don't miss them days using post
hole digger.
Oh,
I've done enough of that too. I don't care to do no more of that. So I just did the right thing and invested in a gas auger.
yeah.
After 2 months of still waiting on rain. Gracious.
Wow.
Where are you at, Pat?
No rain.
Gracious. What state? You don't have to give me a city, just state.
2 months.
2 months and still waiting on rain.
Well, it was almost 2 months. May and June, we didn't have rain for those 2 months, and I think the last bit of June we actually got a little storm. That was about it.
Wow.
We've not been short of rain until here in like the last week and a half.
Yeah, and
It's been dry.
other people in the state were getting rain. I'm like, where? And I'm
going around you.
There's nothing here.
And we've sitting there and watched it on the radar, and it'll be solid line, and as it kind of gets closer, it just breaks up and goes around. I'm like, are you serious? Like, yep, time to go water the garden.
You're scaring the clouds away.
Oh, Arlington.
Yeah,
Wow.
they had some massive heat out there.
Yeah, one of his friends lives in Arlington. We went down there on vacation a couple of years ago. Yeah. Ridge Life. Tell Tim we said hi. Go do a Boots and Bounty raid over at Ridge Life. He's next door. He's like, 45 minutes, an hour away from us?
Probably an hour.
Yeah, he's about an hour away from us.
Oh, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's not too far then.
Before we moved, we wouldn't be like 30 minutes from him.
Well, I thank you guys for hanging out tonight.
For having us.
Short notice and everything.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys came up, and hopefully everybody we're watching this and rewatching this will head over and hit the sub button because you're really close to hitting that 4K mark.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
And again, thank you guys for hanging out, and thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.